Welcome back. Centennial kickoff. Rapid fire here. One coach out, one coach in. You just watched highlights from Gettysburg, which you knew were probably very entertaining, the way these guys move the football up and down the field. Coach Barry Streeter joining us. Coach, how you doing? How's it feel to get the season going?
We're excited about it. We're really excited about it, and we appreciate you being here and getting us started out.
My pleasure to be here. It's been a big day. Some Division III history, the way this is all going down today is part of the kickoff media day festivities. Coach, as I just kind of alluded to, we've got to talk about your offense. I mean, the numbers you put up, when I check the box scores, sometimes I'm just shaking my head saying, what are these guys, where do they come up with this, the way you guys move the ball up and down the field? Where does it come from? What even gives you the ideas to even try the things you tend to go for?
Well, we call it a spread wing offense, and it's a combination of a spread offense, which is really a popular offense on all levels of college football, and it's got a little flavor of wing T in there. So Kevin Burke is our offensive coordinator, and between he and I, we've developed this, and our kids believe in it wholeheartedly. We don't huddle very often, and we try to go fast-paced, which our players really like. And so we've been productive. We're hopeful that it's going to continue. You have to keep tweaking things just to make sure that we're going to get what we want out of it.
What I love when you're talking about it is that you say spread, which is, the modern hot football
Sure.
word, but wing T is so old-fashioned. That's great. Combining the new and the old is beautiful.
Yeah, well, there's a lot of wing T coaches out there that are going to cringe when they see, that do cringe when they see it. And, I was a wing T guy for years, and we were productive offensively as well at that. But we had to do different things to improve our offense, and this has been great for us so far.
Well, there's probably a lot of coaches who'd like to do one thing or the other, but you got to have the right personnel to do it. Let's talk about some of these guys. Let's start at quarterback. Cody Smith is a guy who clearly knows what he's doing when it comes to this offense.
Yeah, Cody's a great kid, number one. He's one of our captains this year. He alternated at quarterback last year with Kyle Whitmore, who graduated in the spring. Both of those guys had really good feet. Cody has very good feet and understands our offense very well, and is probably – he's one of the top two quarterbacks we've ever had from a throwing standpoint. He really can deliver the ball well. That, as I mentioned, coupled with his knowledge of what we're doing, as he's been in the offense now coming into his fourth year, we're glad he's on our team.
Absolutely. And running back, you got Ted back?
Yep, Ted DeLea. Teddy started last year for the first time as a junior. He was behind some very good running backs his freshman and sophomore season. And we really went back and watched film on Ted after this past season, and really feel he can be so much more productive. He knows that. He's excited about getting started, and I just expect him to be even more productive this year. He's a very good returner as well. He had 3 touchdowns last year as a punt returner.
Scoring in droves, you guys. How about the receiving corps? Plenty of weapons out there as well.
We feel good about it. We've got guys back. We have Aiden Tware back, who was one of the conference leaders in touchdowns. He had 12 touchdown receptions last year. He has good speed. We're excited that we're getting Kyle Davis back. Kyle will be a senior. Aiden will be a junior. Kyle started for us his sophomore year and then had a back injury in the summer and really didn't play until the last game of the season against Franklin and Marshall a little bit. But we're excited he's coming back. He had a very good spring.
I couldn't believe some of it seems like every week your games were so close last year, which also goes to show the parity of the league and things like that. But probably a true Gettysburg purist is at their computer right now saying, what about the defense, Coach? What are we going to do on defense this year to slow some people down?
Sure, and I understand that question. And first of all, I felt like in the offseason our coaches did a very good job in evaluating exactly what we needed to do to make the improvement that needed to be made. And then we implemented that as from a personnel standpoint as well as from an X&O standpoint in the spring. And I feel we really did that. We really gave up a lot of yards in the air last year, and we really feel that we've rectified that situation. The proof will be in a few weeks. We'll find that out. But our defensive front is back. They're very productive. Joe Ventresca, defensive end, Larry DeVicio, linebacker. Those guys are both captains, both very productive last year, and their leadership is something that I'm really excited about.
It should be noted, Joe, one of the national leaders in sacks last year. So if you didn't think the defense was doing their job, they were seriously out there doing some real work, no doubt about it. And also at 6-4 overall last year, thinking back, you guys could easily have been 8-2 or better, the real close losses that didn't go your way.
We had 2 one-point losses that were right at the end of both those games. We had a loss out of the conference, which was our first game when we were just getting going. Then we had one loss that we'll move along and not talk about.
No problem. Let's focus on the good things. Coach, 34 years at the helm now at Gettysburg, which is an incredible accomplishment. Congratulations on that and the things you continue to do. It's inspiring for a lot of people around this conference. When where you've seen this conference grow, what most impresses you today?
I think the parity that there is in the conference and the camaraderie of the coaching staffs. I mean, all the coaches, like when we get together, we enjoy each other.
Yeah.
We respect one another because of the coaching ability. You know, I think back in the early '80s when this conference was started as a football conference only, there were a few schools that were recruiting hard. Mm-hmm. We were one of those schools. That's not the way it is now. Everybody recruits like crazy, and it makes it much more competitive. You know, when we're talking with a young man to visit Gettysburg and to become interested in Gettysburg, he's talking to Dickinson, he's talking to Franklin and Marshall, he's talking to Johns Hopkins, he's talking with other schools in the conference now, and that's been impressive.
You guys have a pretty interesting season opener, right? You got any good tape on these guys?
No. Here it's really interesting. I'll tell you what's interesting about it is that Misericordia University is going to play their first game against us on September 1st. They're not going to scrimmage anyone. I have no idea what they're running.
Yeah.
Now that'll be a heck of a game plan. I'll tell you that.
They've got no football history. They've just added football. The first game ever will be the season opener at your place.
At our place, and you know, it'll be a pretty generic game plan. I can tell you that. Both offensively, all 3 phases. You know, we're excited about it, and I'm sure their kids are excited to get started, to get their program started. But yikes. I mean, you know, somebody was asking me earlier, you know, what's the toughest game on the schedule? I said, it looks like the first one right now because I have no idea what they're going to do.
I know. It's very old-fashioned. You don't know anything. I mean, can't do anything with the coaching staff? Do you know anybody?
Well,
any connections?
No. I mean, you know, they're not telling us anything anyway. You know, that's how I said to their coach, I said, you know, you probably have an idea what we're doing.
Right.
And you may have seen us. I said, but I have no idea what you're doing. He said, why don't you scrimmage somebody and we'll trade the scrimmage tape? Nah, we're not scrimmaging anyone. So it should be interesting.
It really, and that's the kind of story you don't stumble across in much these days.
No.
At any sport, at any level for that matter. 12-year-old dads tape their kids' games.
Exactly.
What are we not talking about with this year's squad? I mean, there's been so much history around your program. What are we talking about with this year's team? The floor is yours. What should we be talking about?
I think just talking about the commitment level and the trust that we have in one another in the program. You know, we've come close for several years.
Yeah.
And, you know, we've been third. We've been tied for third. We've been, you know, we've beaten some good people and not played well against some others. And I believe our players, I just have a great feeling that our players really trust what we're doing in all 3 phases, as well as our off-season program, and also the leadership. It really excites me. And you know, I get the question a lot, well, you've been there for 30-some years. When's your last year? And I said, well, until my coaches tell me that I don't have a clue of what's going on, or the alumni may say that, but of what's going on, or until I don't have a passion. And at the end of the season last year, I was so excited right away in November for this coming fall, just because of the trust that we have and the leaders that we have.
No pressure here, Coach. No retirement pressure from us.
No, that's fine.
We love watching you play. Love watching your teams. Last thing, handicap the field for us. Who should we really be watching out for this year? I mean, Hopkins always looks good, but they lost a lot of people. Hopkins
always fields good athletes. They always do. You always have to count them in. You know, there's nobody. The thing that makes this conference tough is nobody's safe. Nobody's sacred. In other words, oh well, you can't say, "Whew, good, we're playing so and so this week." And so for me, to even, I don't like the preseason poll. You know, they ask me, I go into my staff room and say, "Oh, they want that preseason poll again." I have no idea. What do you think? You know,
Makes it fun. Who knows?
Yeah, exactly. And that's exactly right. It's what makes it fun. It's what makes it competitive. And that, early in the season, everybody's competitive. In a 10-team conference, you're in it for a while until the cards start falling the way they're supposed to.
Looking forward to the season getting going. Thank you so much, Coach Streeter. Gettysburg College, as kickoff continues here from Franklin and Marshall. Centennial Kickoff 12. We'll be right back.